miss. I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. No second guess it, I let it set in. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, but sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G sitting alongside Rio and Jimmer tonight, and we've got a fun night in store. We've got some NBA playoffs. We have another special guest interview. Different position. We have not interviewed this cat before, or this position before. So, Rio, let's go ahead and kick her off, man. Who are we talking to?
We are talking to Bailey Flint, I believe is your name, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And where are you from?
I'm from Melbourne, Australia, originally.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we're loving your accent. Loving it.
Every second of it. Every second of it.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. So kind of kick this thing off. When you were young, when did you start playing sports?
Yeah, so I actually, I was a bit of a late bloomer. I didn't really start playing too much sports, nothing serious until I was about 17 or 18. And it was gridiron American football. And I started playing in Australia, but it was like a small 9-on-9 division for this team called the Western Crusaders. It was like a small club sport. There's like 9 teams in the entire state. And just from there, everything just kind of snowballed for me from playing there to getting an opportunity to go to boarding school in Utah and then come back to Australia and then getting a scholarship to go to Toledo. And each place I was at, I was playing a different position. So I didn't even punt till I went to college.
Oh, really?
That's insane.
So which position was your favorite?
Punting's been the favorite for sure, but it was pretty good in high school football and in Utah playing right tackle when I was 260 and just beating up on kids.
Oh, heck yeah.
All right.
Love it. Man, talk about a switch going from right tackle to punter. That's badass. I'm picturing a little bit of like Janikowski. Like, I bet you like to hit people, don't you?
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
But I try not to. I got to stay out of it.
You got to stay out of it.
It's longevity, mate. It's longevity. Just kick the ball right and you don't have to worry about it.
There you go. Drop that baby inside the fire. They're not going to even come run it back.
Exactly right. Hang it up there. It's a fair catch every day.
There you go. Heck yeah. That's awesome. So you grew up in Australia. Was football, that was about all you played? You didn't play any other sports?
Yeah. So at school, we don't have school sports like you do here. So like when I'm saying playing at school, like I'm literally talking about like, it's at recess and lunch. I'd mess around, maybe play soccer, maybe play a bit of rugby, a bit of this, a bit of that. But honestly, growing up, all I did on the weekends was ride my skateboard and play computer games.
Okay. So there's no school sponsored sports there.
Nah. So the only school sponsored sports are like if you play, if you go to like a private school. Some private schools will have certain things, but other than that, everything is club sports.
Okay. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I'm surprised. We're not used to that. Like we have some areas around here, especially smaller communities and stuff like that in Iowa, that they may not provide every sport, but that at least there's sports to choose from. So that's new to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different sort of makeup, socially as well, because it's like people, your club sports, people play these club sports like well into their 20s and 30s as well. So it's like, you have senior division local football, where guys, make a couple $100 on the weekend to go play, but it's the same club that they played at when they were 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a big family sort of thing, so the clubs are real serious things, real serious deals, but still at the same time there is no, like you said, school-sponsored sports as such.
Okay. So to go a little lighthearted here, are kangaroos as badass as the way we understand them to be? Like dangerous, borderline dangerous?
Mate, they're even cooler than what you think. Nah. You don't see them. I'm telling you, you don't see them as much as people want to believe.
Really?
They hide, mate. They're always hiding.
Oh, I thought they were more like deer here. Okay.
Similar to like if deer were even more scared. Like at Toledo, like we'd sometimes see deer on campus. Like you would never see like kangaroos like near like in a built up suburban area.
Okay.
Unless it was right on the cusp of like some like country or a newly developed place.
Okay.
Like they're not coming around people that often.
And well, since I got to continue on a little bit with some animal talk, because you guys have way cooler shit over there than what we have over here, right? At least that
Yeah.
I should say definitely in Iowa for sure. We have we had rabid deer, and we literally have news breaks over like a fox crossing the road around here. You know what I'm saying? And I think a cougar was a few years ago that was humming around down by Des Moines, Iowa.
I met a few cougars.
So what's what's one of the things that you would see over there that is like frightening or deathly or freaky? Like what do you got there?
So the two things that jump out at me is a redback spider and a brown snake. Like a redback spider, just a small thing, but you see them in your house all the time. And it's just got this nice red dot, really vibrant red dot on you, and it'll kill you in 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, and those are in your house?
Yeah, you can get them in your house. Like I grew up in the suburbs, like we'd see redbacks all the time.
What? Holy That's cow. Like a daddy long leg there?
Oh, we got those as well, but then obviously you didn't got to worry about those.
Right. No.
And the other one is the brown snake. It's one of the most venomous snakes in the world. And, I've had a couple of close encounters with them, more so in the country, but My grandfather one time was using a chainsaw and he was cutting up a tree, and they like burrowed in the tree, so he's like cut through it.
Holy cow!
And when he had cut through the tree, it had like I think it nicked one of them. So then they were all real feisty and real angry too. So he sees them all coming out. He's like,
oh shit!
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
He had a chainsaw. He wasn't too scared.
So right. But we're also getting to the part where you guys are built a little differently over there. Like that's.
Yeah,
right. You see a lot of.
Hold on, he is referred to the red, like that red dot on the spider. Red dot spider is just an everyday, like you could see it in your house and you go, yeah, what?
Yeah, just don't touch it.
Just don't touch it.
What, this is actually a really good representation of like, like how nonchalant I guess Australian people can be with different things. Just recently, played the Bahamas Bowl. It was the last game I played.
Okay.
And so we're in the Bahamas. We have all of our gear and stuff in our like mesh bags, and pre-practice, we're in the hotel. We're in this big, massive open room, and there's just chairs set out for our locker room. And I remember Isaiah Winstead, one of our receivers, comes in. He just screams real quick. He goes, "Yo, what the heck?" And I'm like, what is it? He goes, "Man, I just seen something moving on my shoulder pads in my bag." And I was like, "What the heck was it? Like, what was it?" He's like, "Bro, I can't touch that. Like, I don't know what to do." And I was like, "Let me see." So I dug around.
He didn't even think twice. He starts digging in the bag. What's up? I love it.
So I don't know if it was a centipede or a millipede. I don't really know the difference. But I'm telling you, this thing was 6 inches long, and it had a lot of legs, and it was moving around, mate. It was pretty scary. And those guys are all crapping their dacks, and I've just picked it up real quick and threw it at one of them.
That's awesome.
And the teacher, one of the GAs, sorry, it's on the ground. He doesn't wait 2 seconds and just completely stomps on it, kills it straight away. Perfect shot. I was like, that was so funny. But yeah, everyone was going crazy, and then I was pretending that it was still in my hand and just going up to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just like not like all nonchalant about it, like going digging in this bag, has no idea what the hell it is. He's like, I guarantee one thing, it's nothing worse than I've already seen over in Australia. So
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's not a red dot, right?
What's the worry about? Exactly right. There's no red on it. There's no red on it.
So you're I guess growing up and up until high school and college, you obviously lived a little bit of a different life than what we're used to up here. So when you said you went to boarding school in Utah, right?
Utah, correct, yes.
Okay. So did you have sports? Was that kind of your first opportunity to really get into sports? Or?
Yeah. that was my first opportunity to really get into sports in the general sense of like, you know, playing football properly and, you know, going to school and then going to practice after school and then getting a game. Because of when I came over, though, I wasn't allowed to play anything but football. So I played football, did that season, but I wasn't like eligible to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
So, you know,
And why is that?
there was like a weird, I guess, so in high school you actually have eligibility, same as you do in college.
Yeah.
And I'd come over, like our start of the year is in January and we finish in December. So like that, so January to December is a school year for us.
Okay.
Where over here, you know, you start the new school year in August or whatever.
August,
Yeah.
September,
and then it goes around. So it mixes over. So I was like 6 months overdue.
Oh.
So when I started my senior year, I only had like 6 months left technically of high school because of when I had started high school.
Gotcha.
Which makes sense. You don't have like 22-year-old dudes just beating on guys in high school.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Fortunately, they don't have that same rule in college, so I was able to play.
Yeah. So when you went to the boarding school, you didn't do that till you were a senior?
Correct. So I only did 1 year of school at high school in America. Had an opportunity to go to Leighton Christian Academy, and it was one of the best things I got to do. It was an amazing life experience. I got to go over with my best mate, and we're both just playing football and having a good time.
There we go. I love that. So when you came over, you came over by yourself or with a friend? But did your parents come with you?
No, I came up. So yeah, we both kind of moved over by ourselves, just within a couple of days of each other. Didn't live with each other, but the school, they basically own a bunch of really big houses by the campus, and then they put in somebody who works at the school. One of the maintenance guys and his family lived in this house that I was in. It was a 6.5-story house. It was huge. We had 14 guys living in it.
Jeez.
Wow.
And it was pretty intense. Like some of the people I got to meet and live with, my roommates, Igor from Brazil, and then we had, of course, I had 2 kids from Rwanda. One was named Kenny, and the other guy's name was Ken. I was like, all right.
So not much disparity going on here.
I was like, all right, dude. Like, what's going on here?
So I'm gonna venture a guess that Kenny was the more laid back one.
Funnily enough, I don't know. Kenny was actually he was a little bit more highly strung.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. It was kind of funny because Kenny's dad was the president of like NBA Rwanda or something.
Oh
wow. And I thought that was like so. Yeah, I thought that was so cool. But this is even cooler. Ken's dad was the president of Rwanda.
What the hell? Jeez, he's like, hold on, you got one up, brother.
Exactly.
That's one up.
You always got to tell the story in that order because people are like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was like, wait a second, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Man.
But what was so funny is like the whole time, like I'm in this new world, playing football, this new sport and all this sort of stuff. And then there's this other kid that I'm living with that doesn't even know how to do his own laundry. He's never had to make his own bed. He's got maids, I was like, what a different world, what a different life experience.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome kid, but just didn't know what to do. Couldn't cook for himself, They just order out all the time because they didn't know how to cook.
Right. What a life.
That is. Yeah. I didn't grow up with that, so that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Me neither.
So you literally played 1 year of high school football, and then you were able to go to school at Toledo. Did you get a scholarship after that 1 year?
So what actually happened was I played right tackle in high school, and by the end of the year, I had gotten an offer to play for Southern Utah. They were talking about taking me in, but I was academically ineligible. So from my like 9th grade classes, I took woodwork, and that was deemed by the NCAA as a non-academic class. So I had 14 out of the 16 required credits. So long story short is I was going to have to be a JUCO guy, go to junior college, get my associates and bust out. I didn't understand that completely at the time, but I ended up getting an opportunity to go play at Orange Coast College in California. So I moved out to California, was going to play at OCC, and then like I got admitted, got my visa, all that stuff. And then just went through some family stuff back home and just realized like, wait a second, like I don't know if this really makes sense for me right now in my life. At this time, I was going to attempt to punt. But it was like it didn't really make sense. I didn't think I was going to be able to go D1 from that position right there because I hadn't had enough training and stuff. I was kind of just being thrown into the fire. Mm-hmm. So I went back to Australia, got a couple of odd jobs here and there. At one point I was working in the fish market with my uncle. Another job I had was working, for a family friend, literally as just an all-round labourer. Sometimes I was doing some gardening for him. Sometimes I was going to wash the car. Sometimes I was, working in the office, making phone calls. Whatever I had to do was just making a quid. And then that whole time I got linked up with Pro Kick Australia, and I trained with them. And Nathan Chapman and John Smith, they got me pretty much every Australian punter that you hear of in college football and even in the pros these days are all Pro Kick Australia guys. And we all trained together there, trained with them, and then I went to university in Australia, to Victoria University, and just did very general classes that would be easily transferable. And then one day I remember walking after practice, chap comes up to me nonchalant and goes, "Hey, Bailey." I was like, "Yeah, chap." He goes, "Yeah, so this coach from what was it called? Toledo is gonna message you on Twitter." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, just talk to him." I was all right, sweet. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
I was like, okay, like whatever. And then like a few hours later, I get a message, Robbie Disher. "Hey, mate." I'm like, "Hi, how you doing? All this sort of stuff, just general chitter chatter. And I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" sort of thing, And then long story short is they offered me a scholarship, and then over the next 6 months, that was kind of, it wasn't even 6 months, I don't think, but it was a pretty quick turnaround. From getting that offer and then signing and then coming over, and I was able to bring my mum over on a visit. So me and my mum came over to Toledo for a visit for the weekend.
Awesome.
So mum got to see where I was going to be for the next few years, and that was awesome that they did that for me, because that wasn't cheap.
Right.
And then went to Toledo, and then that was the last 5 years was at Toledo.
Awesome.
Heck yeah,
that is awesome.
That's such a cool story.
So I watched some of your videos. I actually watched some of that the Pro Kick from Australia, some of that on YouTube there, and looks like you're working on the one I was watching. Looked like you're working more on directional or it didn't look like it was like situational type of kicking there. It looked like it was pretty extensive, but I'm also all about how far we can go here. So how far can you punt?
The longest that I've punted in a game is 72 yards.
No big deal.
That was out of the back of the end zone against Colorado State. And the craziest part about it too was the ball was on the 5. So the ball's on the 20. Touchback, so kickoff, touchback, cool, ball's on the 20 or whatever, wherever it was supposed to be. The guy got tackled at 20.
Yep.
The noose, we had our center at the time was out for this drive. So we have this freshman kid come in, right? Parker Bisick. And he goes down for his first snap. He false starts.
Oof.
Oh, no.
The center does. All right, whatever. That's cool. Back it up 5. And then he does it again, and then he does it again. So we're on the 5-yard line.
Yikes.
Yeah. We're on the 5-yard line, and it's 4th down. So I go out to punt, and, I'm in the back of the end zone. When I walk into the back of the end zone, Colorado State has like a fan section, and they're ground level. They're drinking beer.
Oh yeah.
They're screaming at me, right? And I remember making eye contact with this girl, and she was gorgeous. And she's just cussing me, out.
What?
And I literally had like one of those moments of like, what is my life? I didn't say anything. I didn't say a single thing. Back to him. And then as I'm like walking into the end zone, and then something just clicks, and I just was like, "Oh, cheers, love," just like give him a little banter. They're 5 yards away from me, and I was like kind of worried I was going to get some beer thrown on me. That had happened before. And then I look back, I'm on the screen, all that sort of stuff. We did a rollout punt, like a rugby style. I kick it, and it came off the foot. As soon as it came off the foot, I kick, spin around, look at him, And then I just like put my hands up, like, what are you gonna do? You know, like you look like idiot. You know?
Love it.
I just knew it was a massive kick. I had a killer game. I had a 52-yard average that game. You know, just the rest of the punts were big as too. You know,
Damn.
That's awesome.
That was just a cool little story for the.
No, I like that. No, I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's gangster, man. I love it.
Hell yeah, for
a
sure.
little bit of banter back and forth. Gotta love it.
There's got to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
A little fan interaction that way. So before we continue on with your talking more about your athletic part, another thing I came across here was that because you have a visa and you come across, you cannot capitalize on your nil, on your name, image, and likeness financially.
Correct.
And you found, this is not a loophole, so for a lack of a better, what I'm trying to get at is you found another way to still use kind of what your name, image, and likeness without bringing money in directly to you to give back. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So basically what I did is I had a lot of companies hit me up to do things in the Toledo area, and I had to turn down a lot of money. And I was sitting there thinking, man, like, there's got to be a way that this could be put to use. Got to be. There's got to be something. And Juke Mode, which is they're a T-shirt company, they had hit me up about wanting to do a T-shirt. Basically, they do a design of my choice, and I help promote it, and then I just make all the profit off the shirt. You know, they make a bit, I make a bit, and it's a pretty handsome amount of money. So I said to them, I came back to it. I first was like, I can't do that. They're like, oh, no. So I ended up calling them back later, and I was like, listen, what if we did it, but all the profits that should go to me go to a charity, and you guys donate it on my behalf? Like, I'm holding you to good faith, and you're going to be held to good faith because, like, the local media is going to be involved, so they're going to know this is happening.
Right.
Hell yeah.
You know, so it's like there's no, like, it's not like it's a legally binding thing. I'm like, but so I've got to kind of trust that you're going to do this, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sweet. Like, we'll be as open and honest, you know? And the reason I trusted them also is they do like a shirt of the month, or every couple of months they'll do like a special shirt where all the profits go to a charity. So I was like, this is possible, and this is like within like their mission and all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, let me kind of be a part of that. So we got together with them, and the idea that I had was a 419 shirt. The area code for Toledo, cell phone area code is 419. And I was number 49 in college. So me as a punter, I'm also extremely flexible. So when I punt, my leg is just straight up in the air. So what we did is we took the 49 and put them on each breastplate. And then in the middle of the shirt, used a picture of me punting from a side-on view that I did in a photo shoot, where my leg is just straight up, super flexible. So it makes out 419. So it's a Toledo shirt. It's in the Toledo colors. It says 419. It's got me. It's got, you know, it's my name, image, and likeness all over.
Heck yeah.
And then there was a daycare center that I had been volunteering at since I first got to Toledo. And these kids, they're all from very low socioeconomic areas. The daycare itself is in a pretty poor side of town. And I would always go in there and read them books. And when COVID hit, I wasn't able to go in there anymore. So what I did is I went there, called up the teacher, had them get me the kids like 4 or 5 favorite books. And I took them, I went back to Toledo, like to the football facility, and got the camera people to help me out and set up a couple of camera angles. And I read the books to the camera, and then edited the videos and put them on YouTube so the kids can have the books read to them whenever they want.
Awesome.
So that way, when they're at home, they can do it. You know, so if you look up on YouTube, it's tucked away, but
yeah, we got it up right here.
Reading Silly Sally and all that stuff, you know.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
And you know, so I've read those books, and I've got a couple more that I've done, you know, since then that I've sent to them, and you know, that was a big deal for me. But what I noticed as well, and I had a conversation one time, is these books aren't cheap. Some of the books that these kids are reading, mate, it's lucrative. I need to get into the kids books business, because some of these books $50-$100, and there's 4 or 5 of them in a set, and the kids want to know what happens next. The kids they love these characters, and it's so, man. And the teacher said to me, she's like, oh, yeah, there's absolutely no way we could buy these books, like, unless I'm paying it out of my back pocket, you know? And I was like, well, you don't get paid. You know, I can't do that. These kids,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I had another sort of like epiphany where I was like, literally a 5-minute drive from where this facility, like where this daycare is a place called Ottawa Hills in Toledo, which is like a village. And like the kids that are there, they go to like Ottawa Hills High School, and in all the facilities and daycares around there, like their parents are loaded. Like these kids will never go without anything in their entire life. But
Right.
5 minutes away, there's these kids that like can't even get the next book in the sequence. Come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
Right.
had two MacBook computers that was so old I didn't even recognize them. I thought they were fake. they don't even turn on. Like the computers didn't even turn on. So I was like, what's the point of having them?
Right.
Right.
So, you know, I was like, well, can we donate the money to them? And long story short is that's how it went. So I was able to sell, you know, enough shirts to raise, it was over $5,000.
Awesome.
You know, to the kids, and was able to give that to them. So, you know, so they were able to. And then also, I was also able to get every single staff member and kid in the facility a shirt. So they all got the shirt, and they got the money. And on top of that, I went and I was a hustler for it. But I was calling up people, seeing what I could get. I had someone donate 2 Mac desktop computers, so the kids can do their you know, do like learning activities, and they can do all these different things and book reports, because it's like toddlers and like babies, infants, all the way to like high school age kids or middle school age kids that go here to the facility. And there's not many of the older kids, but usually it's like these parents, they're working graveyard shifts or they're not home, you know, they need somewhere to go, so they're not just by themselves. So yeah, I was really proud of myself for figuring that out and doing that.
As well you should.
Yeah, and
as well you should be.
Thank you.
Definitely. Hey, that is awesome, an amazing story. I will say, I'll say it for you, it's BS you couldn't make, you know, money off your own image and likeness, but how you went about finding a way to give somebody that money in the story is amazing, definitely, and very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
I appreciate it.
So that being said, I am telling you right now that obviously I have watched the video. I watched because in your video you're also stating that you're not sure if the kids enjoy it as much like you just reading to them or just your accent, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I did see the shirt, and I personally will be purchasing one too, especially knowing that it's going towards something that damn good too. So I like the cause. Also, yeah,
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
yes. Then. Unless you wanted to carry on more with that, we want to touch a little bit. What's next? What's going on right now with Bailey, professionally?
Yeah. So most recently, the thing that's happened, I got drafted 2nd overall to the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Canadian Football Global Draft.
Boom!
Yeah.
That was an exciting day last week, and then prior to that was obviously the NFL draft. Went through all that. Was on the phone to a couple of teams and thought I was going to get picked up right away, and at least sign a free agent deal. And then like anyone, all right, this guy gets drafted, that's good. I've moved up one spot.
Man. All right. So for those of you that are listening, we did have some technical difficulties tonight getting everything recorded from our guy. And
GarageBand, you're a piece.
Yeah. So where we ended was he was talking about the draft process and things like that. He ended up getting drafted to Hamilton.
Hamilton Tiger Cats, the CFL, number 2 overall.
They traded up from
number 9 to get him.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, he was talking about obviously that's one hell of a cushion to have, but he was very forward with Hamilton, saying that he got an invite to the Pittsburgh Steelers mini camp, and that'll be a 3-day camp to see if he can make the squad. And he said obviously he told Hamilton that's what his goal is. But they own his rights for 3 years, I do believe he said afterwards. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't, by some way, it doesn't work out with the Steelers, he can always go up there and play. And he said he's more than willing to do so if that were to happen.
Yeah. So long story short, he's got some options on the table, which are great. It's just a little disappointing that we didn't get everything else that we talked about, because that man had stories. So for those of you listening that want to hear more from him, because we know you love that accent too, just like those kids that he was reading the books to.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely... When he got on, I was like, yeah, mate. I was just like, hell yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that want to hear the rest of it, we're going to try to get him on next week to kind of finish the convo and see how the mini camps go here between today and the end, or basically today and the end of the week.
Yeah, he did say that he would hop back on with us, so we're going to try to hook it up
get him on in
right
a week
after.
or so.
Yep. Is the goal, so
Yeah.
highly disappointed. Highly disappointed.
Yeah, GarageBand, get your shit together.
Understatement.
Or for those of you listening, if you know better audio recording software, since we don't have guitars and shit like that, let us know, because this is what we got. It's free. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but once in a while we get glitches like this. And, man, he was such a good interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
So many stories. We got to move on, because I'm starting to get hot between the ears. I'm not even talking about the temperature, which went from like 35 degrees in Iowa to almost 90 today.
Yeah. I did a shot of peach while you were gone because I'm like frustrated.
Yeah.
So just
Of that
for the
peach?
record. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of that peach?
The good peach. Yeah.
No, he took a shot of my peach.
If you took that, you know he's frustrated is my point. I think there's some good peach right back there.
Yep.
Dude,
So
it was
you know
probably really
frustration.
warm. Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, but I understand it. I'm frustrated. So that was such an awesome interview. Like we were saying before, every interview has gotten better and better. And yeah.
Hey, but for everybody listening, the good thing is you're going to hear this man again. So you're going to be able to hear him twice. And he also said he's got some great jokes he's going to bring on too. He's a funny cat. So we're going to listen to those. But for the rest of the night, since we're getting down to crunch time ourselves, let's go to news and notes. I know we got some good shit in the NBA going on right now. What's up, Jimmer?
Yeah. Just heard on the radio, actually, going to pick up my son, that Steve Kerr is out of the upcoming game. I guess he was feeling a little under the weather, even masked up, and I don't know if it was official, like he tested positive for COVID or anything, but interesting to see how that plays out, considering you're on the team the whole time too. So
I wonder if somebody broke the code or something.
I'm sure there's always a break the code going on, right?
Yeah,
which we'll get to that part too, which is pretty interesting. But before that, Harden and Embiid pushed the 76ers past the Heat, 116-108, to even the series at 2 apiece.
Thank you, Rio. I got you
Harden
on that one, bro.
Showed up.
Yep.
Harden did finally kind of
couldn't put a shot on it though, huh?
Yeah, I didn't. I gotta get back into. We haven't done a lot of whiskey wagers lately, so I gotta get back into that.
I feel you weren't confident. That's okay.
I gotta get back into it, man.
Confidence is key. If you didn't learn from our guy Nate Hayden the other night.
Hey,
so if they play like this, do they beat the Heat?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if they play and Harden shows up and balls out, but if he's plays his disappearing act and tries to make a hurt Embiid carry the team, no. But yeah, if they play the way they have and it's a team effort, yes.
Speaking of the way that he plays, let's skip ahead a little bit. Nugget star Nikolai Jokic to be named the NBA MVP for the second consecutive season. Jokic's raw stats were even better this season than last, as he averaged 27.1 points, 13.8 rebounds per game. He also averaged 7.9 assists, good for 8th in the league. Surprised, not surprised?
I'm not going to argue it because he's a great player. I think there's probably really two guys that were in the conversation, right? Him and Embiid.
Yep.
The one thing I'll say is it's kind of similar to like the Westbrook and Harden stat line. Like 93% of the offense goes through him. So every stat line is going to be his, and he's going to be able to do what he did this year with the records when it comes to points, rebounds, assists, and things like that. But not to take a shot or take anything away from him, I think if the same thing happened next year, people might be a little tired of it, and it goes somewhere else just because of that.
So do you think he's a stat stuffer on a bad team?
No, I think he's better than that because he did bring them to the playoffs too, even with his main guys out, right? So I do think he's better than that. I think he's a great player. But when you have that much of the offense literally going through you every single time, the stats are going to be there. The difference is they win, too. They made it to the playoffs. Not a great, 6th seed, right? So not a great seeding, but they made it there, and it's just him. So,
yeah, not quite the same. Yep, I'm with you. Not quite the same concept as a stat stuffer on a bad team. Mm-hmm. Because Kevin Love was putting up pretty close to those numbers, too. Yep. Maybe not the assists, but pretty close to the same numbers, but that team won like 20-something games.
Right.
Big difference. He led them on top of that, on top of his stats.
Yep.
everyone keeps saying because he wasn't playing with his other players. He was missing his main stars. Who did Embiid played with? So I'm not I believe Jokic deserved it 100%. I have no argument in it. But if I want to play contrarian a little bit, what did Embiid? So Embiid had to deal with Ben Simmons' bullshit for most of the season, right? You didn't know most of the other players except for shitty-ass Tobias Harris. When I mean shitty-ass, what versus what he's getting paid.
Overpaid.
That's what I'm trying to say. Versus what he's getting paid, that was your guy. And then the growth of one
Maxey, baby.
Maxey.
Yeah.
And outside of that, who do you have? And then they trade away the problem that that the Nets now inherited. Good trade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brought in Harden, and what has Harden's been basically nothing to. Now, he did finally show up in this one, showed some life, right? I don't know if he has enough in him. It's a little late in the season to get right for him, but it's still nice to see. If he continues to go that way, they can. All I'm saying is Embiid went through this all year. He was getting banged up, beat up. You were heavily adamant about it at one point, especially with Embiid. So I gained a lot of respect for Embiid. I still stick to the only, and you basically had coupled to that right now too, is that they're not winning a championship without Harden though. Like as in his game, he needs another player to do that. Like he needs another superstar. He can't be the only. He has to have someone else on the same level. Is what I'm trying to get at. Not even close. They need to literally be on the same level, like almost an MVP-esque player also to win a championship for him. But what he did this year was miraculous, and he should have. If they would have given it to him, I wouldn't have had an argument that way either.
Yep,
so
agreed.
Continuing with the basketball, your man Doncic and the Mavs beat the foul plague Paul and the Suns 111-101 to even the series 2-2 behind Finney Smith's 8 threes.
Balling out. Tell you what.
I didn't realize you guys had, like, he always, if you ever notice, I don't know if he's, like, putting it into, like, the scapegoat thing, like he's putting little files in there so that he can try to, if it doesn't work. They have one hell of a roster.
Yeah, they do.
They have you guys have one hell of a team. I was like, God, I forgot about him. And you are missing a guy, too, that I forgot about. But I'm like, Finney Smith is one hell of a player. You're Brunson. Yeah. As soon as those two learn to play with each other consistently.
We have good role players.
No, Brunson is not a role player. Stop
yes,
it.
He is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No.
I
fully disagree.
Yes.
He's probably going to leave and get paid, bro.
Yes.
He's not
a role
He will,
player.
and you'll show. I think he is.
He's a role player because Doncic keeps the ball in his hand. If they played and learned how to play in a system together, he's not a role player. There's the filing I'm talking about right there where you're trying to put in.
He was there before Doncic, though.
Absolutely, he's developing. He's absolutely developing. Mm-hmm. So that some people take a little bit longer, but doesn't mean you still can't become a superstar or star. Not just a role player.
I think he's a very good role player and fits in his role well.
What role is that if Doncic is on the court?
6-man. Yeah, 6-man. Finney Smith.
They won that other.
Up and down.
They won the other game. Finney Smith is a good role player. That's a role player. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Brunson. The other game, it was him balling out when Doncic was actually kicking the ball out and distributing.
No, he was by himself. That was when Doncic was out. I'm
talking about this other game. I watched the game. I know for a fact.
Oh, this last game?
And not this one. The one just before that when they were together. Doncic actually was just distributing, not taking a bunch of ugly shots. Mm. He was actually kicking them out. And Brunson was driving, kicking. He was developing his own shots also. You make your own shit. You develop your own shots. That's not a role player. You're not. That wasn't part of that's them actually playing in a system. But that's more than just a role player to me. For him, maybe not the rest of them. I think you have a very good role players. The rest of the roster, but they have a legit too. You have a legit too. If you guys know
you just said though, we had stars everywhere. Is basically what you said.
Yes. They're role players.
Except for Brunson. Okay.
That's what I'm sticking with. Sorry. Brunson and him, you have a 1-2 if you guys learn to play together, if they learn to play together consistently. And then you have a fine mix of array of role players after those two is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can tell because they play a ton better at home. Usually, role players, young players, things like that. They just play better at home. Mm-hmm. On the road, they don't do the same thing against Phoenix. So Phoenix will end up beating
that's
them,
where your
right?
stars are supposed to pick you up on the road. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I think the cool thing is they kind of use the same strategy that Phoenix used on Doncic early. So they were always going to him because he's not a great defender, and they were beating him up, right, the first couple games. Now he's doing the same thing to Chris Paul because he's so much bigger. And he's just, every chance he gets, he's going at Chris Paul.
Yeah, what was that cat?
And Booker.
No,
he's been bodying Booker in the paint.
Yeah, but who was the cat that was guarding him up? You hated his hair.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, what is his name?
Goddamn.
That the guy with the banana hair
He does.
on Dallas.
With the what?
The banana hair. He literally has, like, the dreads or whatever. Good defender. He was defending really well.
We just got him.
He was bodying him up like no other.
Yeah.
But Danny's like, what the hell is wrong with his hair?
We got him in the trade. Gosh, what is his name?
It's leaving me too. Like, I know it as soon as I hear it. Like, I would know that. But, yeah, no, he was all over him, and he was making him go way out. Chris Paul does not play like that. Chris Paul did play like that, and he was throwing balls in the stands.
Yep.
Side note of this, I don't know if you guys saw this. The fan in the stand looks like a young cat, too.
Yeah, looked like a kid.
Looked like a kid almost.
Messing with his family,
verbally assaulting him and some other shit, too. Like, it was more than witness. It wasn't, like, over-exaggerated either.
Yeah.
Like, he literally was getting taken out, and then Chris Paul wraps his head around. He's like, you. Something. Yeah, he's like, you. I will be fucking meeting you. So whatever he was doing or saying, I don't know what he could have been, but it must not have been good.
That's what people think these days. They can say whatever they want and nothing will happen.
Yep.
Right.
Especially young kids these days.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
right.
You don't, like, if you were sitting next to someone like that, right? Which me and my wife and kids did. We were sitting around a lot of families because we went to Vikings training camp, and they did it up at one of the days they did it at U.S. Bank Stadium, did like a scrimmage. And we didn't realize we kind of could hear them talking behind us, but we were sitting amongst the wives and kids of some of the players.
Oh, okay.
C.J. Ham's wife was up there. The tight end, his name's escaping me right now, but they were up there. And I'm like, what? At what point? Now, granted, I'm a Viking fan, so it isn't like you're going to turn to him like that. But like, what would anything in your body ever possess you to look back at someone else's wife and kid and say something in a negative fashion of any way towards a player, even if it's against the opposing team?
Just to play devil's advocate, I don't know what actually happened. It sounds like they said or did some fucked up shit, so not to take any credit away from that. But it's Chris Paul's family, so they're in enemy territory, essentially, and so the fans are talking shit, probably saying some stuff about Chris Paul, whatever. I could totally see his family getting pissed at them and turning around and saying something, and then it turns into a back and forth.
Okay.
And maybe they go over the line and say or do whatever they did, right? I could totally see something like that happening too. It's hard to say. We don't have footage or anything like that. So.
Right. But then wouldn't you just stop, though? It's still wife and kids at the end of the day. Even if they turn.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Depends on what happened. That's what
Depends on what she said.
Yeah.
I will say that. Depends on what she said back to me. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
But yes, but for the most part, I'm saying generally speaking,
sure.
You probably knew you were sitting by him anyways.
Right.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I don't know. The mom or whoever's escorting that kid out knows that he did something wrong. At no point did she turn around and start defending anything.
Hell no.
She knew that in my opinion, it looked like she knew he said or did something wrong.
I'm going to spank you when you get home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Get you out in that car and we're playing stepmom. No. Oh my bad. Jesus. We don't know what it actually was. Let's see. Mets released second baseman Robinson Cano, ending his 168-game tenure with the Mets. He is still owed $45 million on his current contract. This week, this was a week after he was designated for assignment. $45 million.
Yeah. You can donate that to 3 Gig Sports if you would like. So
Mets, why don't you work out a different deal where you give us half of that?
A third. A quarter. Doesn't matter.
A tenth? I'll take a tenth of that, too. It's like 4.2.
Yeah, we'll take Venmo. Just Venmo. Venmo's easy.
Yeah, Venmo's easy.
Put the numbers in and send it.
It is what it is. Didn't even know the dude was still playing baseball, if I'm being 100% honest with you. That's obviously goes with his playing right now.
Yeah.
Falling off. Yep, getting older. All the stars, like I said, we talked about it. stars getting older. All the guys we grew up watching are getting older and leaving the game, be it by their choice or not.
Right.
But Father Time's catching up to a lot of them.
Young cats taking over. An arrest warrant for Earl Thomas has been issued in Austin, Texas, after police say the former Seattle Seahawk and Baltimore Ravens safety violated a court protective order by sending threatening messages to a woman about her and her children. To be more specific on that, his child and his soon-to-be ex-wife, they're going through divorce proceedings.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent some messed up text. It was kind of weird because shortly before that come out, it was like he's making a comeback. He says he's training, he's trying to come back or whatever after a 2-year layoff. And then, well, it doesn't look like you are, bud.
Right.
NFL's going to stay away.
I know it's a fucked up deal overall, but why would you send a text? That shit doesn't go away either, right?
No.
Like,
get a burner phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, KD does it.
I'm not saying you should be doing whatever.
Get yourself a fall guy, bro.
Yeah. Chris Carter, baby.
Chris Carter.
But what I'm saying, evidently, it had something to do with like not seeing his kids. He was preventing it, and there's supposed to be like an agreement that he was supposed to have the kid or kids like so much time or anything like that. And don't know the full thing, but that being said, try a little better than texting from your own phone, I guess.
Yeah.
Because no one's keeping me away from my kid either. Like I'd be pissed too. So I don't know the full story here, but if it's that clear cut, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not keeping me from my kid either. Yeah. Like especially if I'm a decently upstanding citizen. Now, granted, I know he has some extreme extra love for his brother, but
Jesus,
or does she? Yeah. I don't know.
Right. There was that.
She's like, I picked the wrong brother, man.
and then filings for divorce happened after. Dan Ventrell says Las Vegas Raiders owner Mark Davis ignored allegations of a hostile work environment and ousted him when he went to the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, just finger pointing all around.
I'll give you what I thought right out of the gate. I'm like, is this like the go-to now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, it's a hostile work environment, but all
Right.
these people want to come work with you, and there hasn't been much negative said about Mark Davis ever.
Right.
You know, like if there's one organization that could easily get bashed on because the NFL hates the Raiders, it would be Mark Davis. You've never heard anything like that. He brings his old players in. They come and sit with him in the booth. He treats them, to my knowledge, with respect. Charles Woodson, all those cats go through there. I'm like, I'm wondering if this doesn't start becoming the thing where
you got let go or fired or whatever, and you go, well, he touched me or he did that. He discriminated against me.
I saw him look a little longer at a female when she was passing in the hallway.
It's not because I wasn't good at my job. It's because, it's this victim mentality that's getting bigger and bigger, right?
Right, and and it's starting to become like an okay thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, Grizzly star John Morant likely out Game 4. Coach Taylor Jenkins says. I think my man Danny over here has something that he wants to talk, or I know he's saw.
I don't know what we're specifically. Are we talking about Jordan Poole?
Yeah, evidently that was what the cause of it was.
No, I don't think that was the cause of it.
That's what I thought. That's what I looked up.
They did. Yeah, I mean, there's like people assuming that.
Right.
I don't think that was the cause of it.
Okay.
No, and it wasn't malicious or anything like that. It just happened. You know what I mean?
Well, neither was the foul by Brooks, in my opinion. So
yeah,
but there's a code. You grabbed at a knee. Is that no different than what?
Yeah,
did you watch the video of that?
Yeah,
I watched the video of that.
Yeah.
Kind of yanks it over. The knees are a little more are pretty fragile. It don't take much to tear them, is what I'm getting at. I've seen guys tear them, just walk. Yeah. You can walk. You could do it walking right down from warehouse B into warehouse A, right? Or B into C.
Man,
you should know that it's going to happen.
You should know that it's going to happen before it happens. So there's that.
There's that.
I did see him run or whatever, and he jumped trying to get a ball or whatever, and kind of twist his knee. Maybe he was kind of playing off that. I don't know. I don't think it was real malicious, but.
Yeah, neither one of them were, right, Brooks?
No.
Wasn't.
No.
Neither was this.
No.
That whole thing's getting annoying listening to that shit. It's like just
right, but we also didn't see, and my point is, we also didn't see Steve Kerr go up to the podium and start saying that's against the code, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
You still tugged at his knee at the end of the day. Just because he didn't get hurt off of it doesn't mean it wasn't against the code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one isn't? Oh, okay.
Maybe
I'm trying to get the non-written down book down in my head. That's
maybe
all.
he was trying to touch something else, and he just went for.
Whoa, what are you referring to?
Well, you know what the saying is, hung like a horse?
Chihuahua?
Gerbil field mouse?
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. They have no shot of winning that series, right?
No.
Without him, no.
They're
Without
probably
him?
done tonight.
Without him, no.
Wait, what are we at? 2-1? Never mind. But they're going to lose tonight, and then it'll be over. So.
Yep. Because a lot of people were like, oh, they went 22-3 or 20-3 without him. Like, that's the regular season.
Yep.
Playoffs are a different animal, right?
Yep.
This is why you need stars or a perfectly constructed team. As in, whenever I hear stars, because I agree with that 1,000%, there's one team of recent-ish memory that didn't have any real superstars, but they had the perfect team.
Detroit Pistons. Yeah.
So other than that rare thing right there, you need your stars to win. So
Yep.
NCAA Division I Board of Directors releases new NIL guidelines regarding involvement of boosters.
They need to do more than that. But, yeah.
That's a nice start, right?
I mean, yeah, it's a nice start, but okay, what? So now the boosters can't contact them, but somebody, it can just, you. Hey, man, you want to go to, I don't know, Pittsburgh and for $1 million? I can get you $1 million.
Word through a word, but there's always a loophole. They're trying,
right?
But at least they're trying to start. That's what I'm saying. So it also eliminates any company that it's not just the boosters. Any company that you would try to create, like so. There's some more to like. They're trying to be like, hey, Danny's the booster, but Danny has a company that he's part of a company called 3 Gig Sports. 3 Gig Sports is offering it, not Danny.
Right.
Well, they're trying to eliminate that too. Like that isn't how this is going to work. They're trying to.
It's a start.
Put the brakes on a little bit.
They need to go further, but yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to the wild, wild west stages, man.
It's freaking free agency. That's all it is. I talked about the
with uncapped.
They offered
like we talk about the myth of the cap in the NFL. There literally is no cap to this.
Xavier Worthy, did you see somebody come to him with a $6-figure NIL deal? Said, "Hey, enter the transfer portal and come to our school. We'll get you the 6-figure." He turned it down, but it's like, what the heck? And it sounds like that's the same thing what happened to the Pittsburgh wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Though he has a little bit different situation. He loses Kenny Pickett.
He loses offensive coordinator.
His offensive coordinator, his wide receiver coach who went to Texas. So he lost a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Now I know the coach is pissed, but
and there's no official that he's going towards USC because he was actually caught down south throwing catching balls from Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just seems like it's a little open. We'll see what happens. But.
Well, and we didn't bring it up in the last podcast, but Rio and I talked about it when we were done. His running back has 6 different NIL deals. Rajon has 6.
Lamborghini just signed with Lamborghini.
Saw that one.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
How crazy is that?
Well,
These guys are never going to leave college.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Well, to your point, I think you brought up, perhaps we could see better developed players.
I hope so.
Because there's more incentives to stay in college. You can make millions of dollars in college and get to probably party a little bit and hang out, and it's a little more laid back, right? And make some money.
You may be looking at more, more intentional redshirting.
And maybe because you might actually make, unless you're the top, 10, 12 draft picks, you may make more money, staying in college for 4 years than you would your first 5 years in the NFL, 4 years in the NFL. So, yeah. And then,
especially if the free agency part of it keeps going, so you can just hop between universities.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the transfer portal is easier too.
Yeah, that's the other part. Like that's where I touched on that one time. Is like you need to put a little limitation on the transfer portal too. Like maybe it's only open for so long. You need to make your decision. If you're gonna do this now, you're only doing that is this date. You have a 2-week span where you can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll be less likely that
twice. You get to use it twice. You're young kids. You can make a mistake once. I chose the wrong school. You can have coaches leave.
Without sitting out a year.
Right. There's your 2 times.
But you're saying you can go beyond that if you take the punishment.
Yeah. If you take it, have a punishment to it. Yep. But 2 years you get, because now it's like free game unless you jump divisions, but most of these guys aren't. And it's like free game. You can go like that. Charlie Brewer right? Jump. It's like, no, go twice. I say give them twice because, like I said, they're young kids. They can make a bad decision. We've all made bad decisions. Going to the wrong school can be one of them easily. Okay. Now, then, 2, you can have head coaches leave all the time or, people are always changing jobs. So, okay, this whole recruiting staff left. That brought me in. Let me change schools. Okay, there's your number 2. If you want to leave again, you're losing another year. You have to cap it at some point.
You do. I'm kind of with you. I am with you, but
I have the Neal deals.
But I have the legit argument for you right now. Then why are coaches allowed to leave at any point? Even after they sign a big-time contract.
But here's the deal. That solves your Neal deal, and the guys can still get the money. Instead of somebody offering you $6 million, if I've already, moved twice. Sure, I can come, but are you really going to give a guy 6 figures if he's going to have to lose a year eligibility?
Some of them are psycho enough, probably. But yes, I know what you're getting at. I just mean, I'm also on the fence with these coaches hop all over the damn place too. Nobody's seen Oklahoma's jumping ship out of nowhere, right? We were all shocked by it, and then it became real. So that's not all right either. Like there has to be a little more accountability with them. I understand they're adults, but so are technically the college students that made the decision too.
Yeah,
they're adults also, and they based it off of what you told them. And at no point did you say, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to this university at some point," or if someone comes up and strikes a conversation that I like, I may leave you.
Right. And that's why you don't burn your two chances to go. You save them for coaches leave. Okay, I'm going to leave too.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is like tick for tack. So they need to punish a coach for the same thing. You can't if you're staying 100%. In college. If you're staying in college, you can't leave more than 2 times in a 3-year span or whatever you want to call it. But how is that right that they can? They're adults also, and they literally pack up their stuff and go.
Yeah.
And we've seen it's less likely now, but once they leave, they usually stay with that next one for a while. But my point is like boom, boom, boom.
Coaches aren't leaving, year after year, at least not at the high D1 level, So they're usually going to stay a couple years.
Couple, but still, that's no different than the college student staying a couple years, then transfer. That's what I'm saying. If you put a limitation on them, you almost have to do it to the one that's leading them too.
I'm talking more about the guys Charlie Brewer, right? He left, went to another school, left, went to another school,
right.
left, went to another school.
Right, but that's one. So we change all the rules for one person.
There's multiple kids doing this.
I don't know if we have as many as what you're thinking when it comes to like that many times. So you change the whole rule book for that. I don't know about that. For a select few, to hell with it, I guess. Is like
see, and here's the thing.
I don't think it's happening as much outside of one.
I think it also plays into the Neal deal, though. You're not going to see all these guys if I've moved once. I've only got one more free shot. You're not going to see them jump you're not going to see the kids doing this. I don't think, and so you're going to see. That's what I'm saying. If say you move twice and then that receiver he gets that 6-figure deal. Well, are they going to come out of 6 figures if he's got to sit a year and then he could just go to the NFL? Are they really going to offer that to him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think it helps on the other side.
Get everything you're saying. I'm just saying I'm saying there's no punishment for the coaches that do anything that they want to do at any point. Most of them figure out a way to keep their houses and everything else. So,
yeah.
Hold on. 2 quick things.
Yep.
Since we just talked about it. So Steve Kerr's in COVID protocols.
Okay.
It is a COVID deal. Chris Paul, the whole situation. So the 2 Mavericks fans, they tried to hug his family. That was what they got pissed off about. So they're banned from the arena until 2023.
Where'd you get that?
Bleacher Report.
There's got to be more than just a hug.
If there was, I think that would be the headline. I imagine there's more to the story, but
there's more to that. There had to been cocking off, and then he was being a smartass, trying to hug him, like to call him, whatever. I know teenagers. You hate Chris Paul. Let's talk both of them. That's what I'm getting at. Like there's more to just them trying to hug them. There was either some cocking off or something like that. That may be the headline. Of course, it's gonna grab your attention. And if that said your favorite player on there, you'd be like that can't be. You'd be on the same side as what I'm saying right now. There's more to it than just a hug.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah, man. I don't know. if it's a hug, I think some people need a hug.
Some people do need a hug.
Maybe they didn't though. Maybe he was trying to get a mouth hug.
What's that?
I have no idea. I just hear tell about it. Monty Williams named NBA Coach of the Year after leading Phoenix Suns to the league's best record. Shocked? No? You guys lost?
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Lost in the sauce.
You guys need some of that ADHD medication? Zoning out?
Yeah.
Awkward silence we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Henry Everell Sweeney, brother of Clemson Dabo Sweeney, has been arrested and charged with sexual exploitation of a minor.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay. Two-way champion Daniel Cormier to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame this summer.
Why give him the news of, he's not even...
It was more about Dabo.
Not even about him.
About his brother.
This is some paterno stuff going on here. There could be a lot more to it.
His brother, they're fucking... Okay, we're not going down that road.
You never know. Not his first time getting caught in some version of a controversy. He had something else. Can't remember the hell what that one was. But either way, his middle name is Ervil. Take that R out. Dabo's brother. Ervil. Take that. Ervil. Yeah, exactly. Take the R out. You got Evil.
Evil.
Two-way champion Daniel Cormier to be inducted into the UFC's Hall of Fame this summer.
Yeah, well deserved. Been around a long time. Beaten multiple guys, high-level guys, all the way back into the Strikeforce reign.
Absolutely.
The best to do it. Just can't get over that John Jones hump.
That's it, man. It might have been the best if it wasn't for him.
Right.
Yeah. He was emotional, as well he should be. I was hoping that John Jones would have been in the audience and gave him just a round of applause.
Yes.
That would have been great.
That's what I was kind of hoping for. I'm not going to lie. Charles Olivier submits Justin Gaethje in first round of UFC lightweight bout, but loses his title belt like we already touched on before.
Yeah, that's why I kind of stayed away from it. The odds weren't great anyways, but I was like, man, I can see Oliveira definitely beating him, but I was rooting for Gaethje to win. So very hung up on who I wanted to win, but who I also thought old boy could beat him.
I still believe. I can't go against Olivier. Danny pointed this out. I keep going against him for whatever reason. I don't even have a problem. It's just like he came out of nowhere, I guess. Justin Gaethje lost this match himself. He went what you guys like to refer to as old Justin Gaethje. He went to psycho, I'm going to try to knock you out, wailing as hard as he can. Even as far as he dropped him twice, I do believe, if I remember correctly. It was at least twice, I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And let him back up. Literally backed up and started waving him back up.
Well, but you get it, right?
Yes and no. Like
the guy who I think he's like second on the list for submissions in the UFC.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can't go at him when he's on the ground. That's when he's going to beat you for sure.
Yeah, you can't. So I get.
You still can. He was a wrestler. Justin Gaethje was a wrestler,
Doesn't matter. A guy who's setting records in the UFC for submissions. I see why you don't jump on top of him after you knock him down. You're hoping you can do the same thing, except knock him out cold.
You don't literally just let him back up, is my point. You don't have to jump on top of him. I've watched plenty of fights where they stand right over the top of him, and you kick at their legs, whatever. I'm just saying, you literally, without any punishment, let him back up twice. That is not the way you do that.
I don't know. You see
he
ankle
split
lock
him.
Guys and stuff like that.
He did split his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty viciously. I just think he went to full blown psycho mode. He didn't do anything that wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't calculated. It didn't seem like it was very well coached. I guess.
I think everybody's so. Old boy's striking is so underrated, and actually, it's underrated because it was so bad when he was at featherweight.
Olivier,
and then it's upgraded so much because he knocked him down, then took his back and whatnot, and finished him, and then he did the same thing with Mike Chandler, right? He fucking boom hit him, knocked him down, took his back, submitted him, and so I think people take his striking for a joke almost, but his striking has improved so much since he moved up from featherweight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Like he's just underrated, man. Period. Like he's on an 11-fight win streak, right?
Yeah, and look at the names he's torn through.
Listen to this, Jimmer. Right. So he beat Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee, Jared Gordon, Nick Lenson. So some of those are a little bit lower guys. Clay Guida early on in that. Like he beat some monsters on that streak, including 3 big dogs.
Well, he beat Kevin
right?
Lee when he was like close to getting a title shot. He was tearing it up. All them last 4 or 5 fights have been guys who have been tearing it up. Really good guys. And I think just Justin didn't respect his stand up. I think same thing with Poirier, same thing with Michael Chandler. You know, you think you're piecing him up on the feet, and boom, he's got power. Like you said, right through his boom, set him on his ass, jumped all over him, submitted him.
Yeah. So I think it's Islam, right? It's got to be him and Islam.
Yep, that's probably the fight to make. They're calling for it. You know, could be even his team and Islam's team. They're calling for it in Dubai. When is that? Did you catch that date?
I did not.
I didn't catch it either. Sometime this summer, I believe. Later in the summer, in Dubai. I think that's the fight to make.
Yeah, I agree.
He's deserving of it. Technically, he beat the 2 people that are ahead of Islam.
Yeah.
Already, so.
You know, I know he's calling for. There's a couple of people calling for old Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
Almost
everybody that fought last night. I think even Rose did.
Right. Everybody wants a payday. They know he's going to sell tickets. People are going to watch, but Conor's got to win some fights before that happens.
And I don't know if you saw, like he responded to some of the tweets.
Yeah, he don't want to cut the weight.
He doesn't want to cut anyway, so I don't think he's going to come down.
Yeah, Michael Chandler called him out at 170, and he was like, "I'm kind of down with that." So
yeah,
we'll see.
He said in the future. Yep, I read his tweet that he's like, "I'm not. I wouldn't say no to that. You know, especially more further in the future." Chandler even said in his post fight, like when they were at the desk and talking about it, he's like, hey, you know, I do want him. He's like, I may not. He said some shit like, I may not be the best fighter, but I'm the most entertaining. I'm like, I don't know if I would ever admit to that, but regardless. He's like, just him, I don't know. He started like blowing Conor a little bit right there too, and you want a piece of that cash, is what it comes down to. And what it tells me is that everyone wants it because they want the cash, but that means he also has all the unlimited options, which makes me go towards the UFC. Well, obviously, Olivier was a belt up in the air. He'll have him and Islam will have a shot at it. I assume it'll be Islam. But he's even wanting some Conor too. So it's looking like he can basically take on any fight, and it could be a title right out of the gate. Doesn't matter
what he's got to win fights.
No, it doesn't matter. It's literally been proven. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. We believe he should.
Yeah,
but it won't matter.
It won't happen.
It won't happen.
I can guarantee you he won't get that lightweight title shot.
Maybe not that one. But remember the rumors about the other weight class,
70.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted him to back out.
I don't think he gets in. His next fight won't be for a title.
Okay.
I think it will be now. I'm actually on Danny's side. I think everything's lining up like that.
We'll go warm whiskey wager on it. I'll do a double. Y'all can take 2 shots as well.
2 shots. I'm taking 1.
You'll take 2.
I'll take 1.
I'll go double. No, I'm doubling down on it.
You're doubling down per person, so you take 4.
Okay, yeah.
You take 4.
Yep.
Okay.
In a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
in.
Okay.
4 in a row.
Okay. Y'all
Yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't be for. He's got to win a couple fights.
I understand that. I think it should be that way. I don't think Dana White will have any problem setting up a. These guys keep saying that they have no problem with it because it comes with a payday too.
Right, it comes with a payday, but all the fighters
just because you don't think it's right doesn't mean it won't happen.
Mm-hmm. He'll get somebody else. The Diaz fight staring him right in the face for if they want to make a big card money fight. The Michael Chandler.
It should, but is he booked?
Diaz is
booked.
That fight card got leaked.
Yeah, it got leaked.
And that's his last fight. And that's his last fight. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it should. That's the one. I think that's the one that the fans deserve. I mean, you definitely deserve the trilogy, but everything's lining up. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants a piece of it. Nobody's deterring it. And not once have you heard Dana White said that he wouldn't give him a shot at one of those titles either. Not once has he even deterred any part of that. He's like, he's even saying no. He's got to take on one fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see a Cerrone fight for old boy again because Cerrone's got 2. It's not his last one. He's got 2 left.
He said he was retiring at the last one.
No, he's got 2 fights left, and he's going to fight both of them. He said we were misinformed on that.
Oh.
So I thought it was the last one too. And then
I was misinformed by the misinformed.
Yeah. So good way to go. Yeah, he come out in his presser or whatever after he had to pull out of the fight. He's like, I've got 2 left on my contract, and I'm going to fight the 2 and be done.
Wasn't he against fighting Conor? Like he said he shouldn't have done it in the first place?
He said he gave up. Like he kind of didn't want to be there, and so Conor showed him the door.
Big.
And he just took the easy way out. So
Like
I could see.
dropped? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like not actually fighting. That's what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Like while the match started.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep. So it won't be for a title. I think he's got to beat somebody.
Conor won't face Donald again, so that's number 1. That UFC won't do that.
So different perspective here. So thinking if you're Conor, right? I don't care how he acts. He knows he's not the best fighter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how he acts, he knows that, right?
Yeah.
He won't come in to do like a prove it fight against somebody that's higher ranked, knowing that he's going to possibly get beat up. He wants that shot at a title, even if he's not better than the guy he's fighting, in my opinion, right? So just thinking from like Conor's arrogance, like I'm not going to fight this. I'm going to fight a champion or whatever. Plus, because I fucking might not win that first one.
I think he won't because you're
I don't
coming
think he
back
would
from
either.
a bad injury.
I don't
you
think he
snapped
would
your
win
leg.
it. Right. He don't want to risk that.
Well, right, but you want to get out, test your leg, all that kind of stuff, right? You come back from a horrible injury. I don't think it's a title
His
fight.
personality says otherwise.
Yeah, if you were a smart, intelligent fighter, Rio, I'm with you.
I don't think the UFC would want to do that either. Like, hey, let's see if he can stand on this dang thing and take a kick.
Money.
Right, so
UFC likes money.
Man.
right, but you also want to your cash cow. You want to keep going, right? He'll sell tickets no matter what. So why send him out there? Another loss puts him at this point almost
Because the next move
right?
the next move after that, regardless of what happens, will be, all right, you're fighting Jake Paul in the boxing ring, and the UFC still makes money.
Right.
So
Yeah, no kidding. No title fight. I could see, maybe another Poirier, somebody up there, but not for a title. There's just too many. Islam should be the next one.
should be.
Yeah.
At 55, there's a couple guys.
Well,
there.
like we said, he won't go down to 155. I don't think anyway. So it'd be that 170 is what kind of flirting at, banking on.
Yeah, I wonder what he's walking at now.
Well, we saw it 180 or was it 190?
190, I think, is what he's at right now. Yeah.
Carla Esparza tops Rose Namajunas for her strawweight title in a bizarre low-action fight.
Yeah, not a good fight.
So bad.
Very bad.
The interview that Rogan had with her, with the winner, what's her last
Esparza?
name? Esparza, was amazing because he was unintentionally hilarious in that. Talking about how bad the fight was.
He was.
What were you thinking in round 4 after basically nothing happened in rounds 1 through 3?
Yeah. I think this is the problem with Rose is her fucking husband in her corner. He was basically telling her the whole time, every time she went to the corner, you're winning this fight, you're beating her up, you're winning, and so maybe she was holding back like, oh, I'm beating her up, I'm winning this fight, I'm just going to coast, right? No need to put myself in danger. Yep. That's not what you need to do as a coach. No. That was a horrible fight. You should have been like, hey, this could go either way. You need something dominant.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any rounds that she clearly won, right?
No. Yeah, no.
But Esparza for sure won 2, for sure.
Yeah.
So
and then all the fans lost the other 3. So
fuck yeah, they did, dude.
Yeah, no kidding.
That was bad. That was abysmally bad to watch. I would rather watch, and you know that I'm critical of it, I'd rather watch people go down to the ground, wrestle for all 5 minutes of 5 straight rounds than what that was. Because it was even that. Even when there was a takedown, they weren't down very long.
Right.
Hop back up and was running. And then she started getting all defensive at the end. She was shocked, number one, when her hand wasn't raised. I'm like, you lost that fight. How do you not know basic counting right here? Right. You were taken down twice. You took her down once, and you took her down once in the last few seconds of the first round.
That's what I'm saying. Her husband every time going to the corner.
But how does she not know that? How do you know that you weren't taken down twice and you only took her down once? How do you not know that part?
You listen to your coach, man. Your coach is telling you.
Fuck that shit.
So everything.
Then you fight by yourself. Then
that's kind of where Rio's going.
Yeah. I mean, you listen. Got to listen to your coach. I mean, especially everything Rose has been through and stuff like that.
Or maybe you just say something. I get that's what I'm saying. Like, are you sure it doesn't feel like
she's got to get her husband out of the corner?
Yeah.
Somebody that
because then she went to the post-fight whatever conference and she's like, "Well, you know what? Why can't I play a strategic fight? And why do I got to fuck this face up? Fuck that. That wasn't strategic. You literally ran in a circle.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's literally that. If that's a strategy, you shouldn't be a UFC fighter. Then get the hell. I'm not saying it needs to go blow for blow. You need to get up in there. There was no. What strategy was that?
Yeah. Right. No,
I know you agree with it.
Telling her, and hey, you're fighting a strategic fight. You're winning, and so she played it safe.
The crowd, like I said, we were all losers in that, especially the first few rounds.
And I think at the end,
first round was so bad.
After she's like, "I'm the fucking champ" or whatever, like I think she could kind of tell that, man, maybe this was kind of like a not good performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana White's has he already announced or talked about it? He had to by now, right?
I haven't seen anything.
Because Dana White doesn't hold back usually. Yeah, that's one thing I'll give him. He'll call something a piece of shit fight if that's what it is. Regardless, old boy made her feel like shit after winning the championship. Like you're a world champion. Then all of a sudden he's like kind of like that. Like, yeah, that you are, but that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya and Jared Cormier and Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway 3 to co-headline UFC's International Fight Week.
Yeah. Exactly what we wanted.
Yep.
Max to get a shot again, and Volkanovski is so good, man.
So good.
So good. But it's a fight to make.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's compact muscle hamster, I'm telling you.
Dude, I tell you.
Volkanovski.
It's crazy how bad he was at like 70 and 55, and then finally, maybe that, but I think we talked about him going up to 55. I think he could handle it now that he's kind of figured everything out.
Yeah, if he beats Max, he does go up, right? Because there's nobody else.
I don't think there's anybody else right now, no. That's Conor comes back down. That's definitely not happening, so.
Yep.
Right. And Conor will get killed by Volkanovski.
Yeah.
It's a fucking machine right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kings to hire Golden State Warriors assistant coach Mike Brown as their next head coach. Good hire.
I don't know.
Like
Kings.
a meh hire?
Right? Yeah, like a
meh.
Meh hire. It's just all these years the Kings have just been messing everything up, not doing the right things.
Isn't this the second Golden State Warrior coach that they've taken?
Yeah, Luke Walton didn't work out, did he?
We talked about, if anybody's going to fuck this up, like in the NFL, Jets, Browns, same thing with the Kings. They just can't get it right.
Yeah.
So
you're not wrong.
I don't know if this is the right guy for them.
We already touched on that. And then my final one, gentlemen. Former Michigan State star Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida early Monday morning. Orange County Sheriff's Police said a man named Lawrence Doherty has been arrested for the shooting on first-degree murder warrant. Doherty stayed on the scene and spoke with police before he was transported to jail.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 31 already.
Yeah, and he played with the dirtiest player in the NBA.
Hold
at
on.
Michigan State.
Did you just say he stayed on the scene, talked to police, and then basically he's going to prison now?
Yeah, I was shocked by it too.
What the hell?
Does he feel justified in what he did? Maybe.
I don't know. I wonder what happened.
I am curious to see what actually transpired there because that's the reason why I put that in there. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, hold on, you stayed on the scene?
Yeah.
So you must have felt like you did something right, or there was an accident,
Right.
like an accidental discharge of a firearm or something like that.
Yeah.
It was one of the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it obviously wasn't. This is murder.
Yeah.
Well, the charge is murder, so obviously it was an
It'd
accidental
probably be
discharge.
involuntary manslaughter or something.
Yeah. So murder, that means it's got to be he believes he was justified in what he was doing.
Yeah.
Right? If you're sticking around the scene.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And that's what I have, gentlemen. We are in Louisiana.
Weird law time.
Okay. We'll go with this one. This goes right up Louisiana's way. And some of my good old family members on one particular side of my family.
Yeah.
Biting someone with your natural teeth is simple assault, while biting someone with your false teeth is aggravated assault.
What?
That's kind of funny.
Get them chompers out, baby.
Yeah.
Ow.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Let me pop these bitches in.
No kidding.
We're gonna get aggravated up in here.
What if somebody just gums you, right? Just take pops.
It'd be nothing then, right? I mean, if simple was with your natural teeth,
Right.
aggravated with falsies, if it's a gum job, then you should be just given the O face.
Yeah, what if it gives you like
that?
a welt or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's my weird law right there. Coming
yeah.
from one state of Louisiana.
Aggravating.
Who's got the... Makes sense.
You do. Sounds like.
Okay. We're going to go with what I would like to refer to as... I don't think I have. Have I ever told the Rob Legee at work computer?
I believe you have.
I have?
I want to think. I think you have.
Have I
Have
told
you
you
heard
about
it?
porno at work?
I don't know. I was involved in this.
I've
so.
never said anything with porno.
I mean, there's been a lot of fucked up shit at your
Yeah,
work, so
we're-
I can't promise anything. But
Okay, even so, it was early on enough. I don't think I did. That's the reason why I jotted it down. All right, once worked with a feller.
a feller.
And we had a couple dryers or whatever, and you go to this main control room, even though there's another dryer off to the east. You go in there and do quite a bit of your stuff, either your readings, your samples, if you're doing a bin report or something like that. So I was doing a bin report. Go in there, and I'm writing this up. This is basically putting information down, saying where stuff is, what's in there, the amount. Guy cruising on the computer right behind me. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, shame on the person that showed this man, because he was a upper age gentleman. Shame on the person that showed him how to use the internet, especially Craigslist's, blogs, or whatever the hell that was, right? So he's like, Jesus.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's like, good God, this dude's
nailing this chick.
Yeah, nailing this chick over here, just taking her pounds. I'm like, I'm not gonna look. So I'm ignoring him. He's like, yeah, gee, look at the fucking hog on that. It's just fucking, because, oh my God, like, I'm getting a bad revisual. He's like, yeah, did you ever look at that? I'm like, no, yeah, whatever. I want to look. I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, but look at that.
Long story short, Jimmer looks at this thing.
Look at the spray. Look at the spray job. I'm like, I look back, and it's basically like a meme version of a clip of a video, right? Takes the camera, has a chick getting dog-eared, dude in the back. The camera pans down to underneath, and all of a sudden you see a dangling.
What's a dang?
A dick.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to keep it PG here. Half PG.
I'm not understanding.
Half PG.
Even though I was
dangling, and all of a sudden this thing starts spraying. What comes out? Usually, like when you're excited.
I don't know.
Yeah, liar. You walk around with it all the time.
Jimmer's like, why am I hard
Semen starts spraying. So, and this is on a flaccid dong. I'm like, dude, that is a chick with a dick getting railed by a dude from the back. And I turn away and look. No, that isn't. I'm like, yes, it is. Yes. No, man, there's no way. She's stacked. She has big old breasts, and they're shaking, and the whole works, and yeah, there's no way. I'm like, that dick is flaccid, and it's spraying like a goddamn elephant trunk. It is connected like this. That is a chick with a dick getting railed by a dude from the back. This is at work.
On the work computer.
Yeah. I walk out after that point. And then he goes to tell someone that I was arguing with him. I'm like, I was not arguing with you. I made a very clear point, and then I left. I'm like, we're not looking at this right now, and we're not going to argue about what the hell just transpired.
Jimmer's like, why am I hard right now?
That is not the case.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Not the case. I was so shocked.
So confused with my life.
I couldn't believe someone would bring it up on the work computer, like right there where anyone could, like,
just see
shocked.
My favorite thing about this is instead of telling him we can't do that at work and be a good employee, as I know you are, you educate him on sex. And,
hey, sex ed was crazy
gender.
back in the day, okay?
Yeah, like I said, he was a little older gentleman, probably in his 50s or 60s. Maybe he didn't realize that stuff kind of...
Right, so the sex ed class wasn't great.
It was a little different.
Right, he's learning the internet. So, maybe he's just confusing time.
There wasn't a bunch of lady boys out there during that time.
Right.
So, moral of the story, don't watch porn at work, and please don't drag other people into it. That's what I got.
Yes.
And if you do watch it...
Words of wisdom. Yeah, go in the bathroom and lock the door.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes to Another one you had or you already did tell us.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude at work.
Drop their phone.
Little spank bank stuff he
Oh.
was doing on.
Is that
on the
Pornhub
clock.
there on your phone, buddy? Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It gets mighty lonely on night shows, so.
Yeah.
Man,
All
it
right.
definitely does. Well, I mean, we got to make sure, we'll kind of wrap this up quick, but we got to make sure we thank old boy for coming on. We'll,
Bailey.
Flint.
We'll be
Thank you for
hitting up-
coming on, man.
yeah, we'll be hitting him up. Hopefully we talk in the next week or two, kind of finish up so everybody can hear. But more importantly here, we are under 2 weeks out from the North Iowa fights at the Mason City Arena.
Yes,
There's some
indeed.
big fights, some really good professional fights, it looks like. So make sure if you haven't got your tickets yet, get them. We do have a winner for the 4 free tickets. We'll go ahead and announce that on Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
And we'll, you know what? That'll be Wednesdays. It makes sense, too. We'll tell that story and give the man credit.
Hell yeah.
Let's think about hitting him up and see if he wants to come over the phone and say it himself.
Okay.
Ooh,
Well, we'll hit
If
him up
not,
and we'll
if
see.
not, we'll record.
it's not a bad
Well,
idea.
we'll
See,
throw the recording up there. But either way, it's a damn good one.
So Wednesday we'll also break into our post-draft analysis teams by division. What division I want Wednesday?
I was thinking let's do a little layup. AFC North.
AFC North.
Yeah.
Okay. AFC North, we're going to do a little breakdown, check down of the teams. Teams who got better or whatever in the draft, teams who got worse, teams who stayed the same, and where they look to be headed in this back half of free agency and into rookie mini camps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for tonight, though, if you happen to stumble across the podcast anywhere, make sure you like and subscribe. The podcast is available where, Jimmer?
Anywhere and everywhere you could possibly think of, and that would include Spotify, Apple, Google, Facebook for now, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. It is there.
Hell yeah.
You're damn right. And if you don't know, now you're about to know. We love telling stories. We love hearing crazy shit that you guys do, have been through, whatever. Hit us up. Let us know if you've got a story to tell. It all goes down.
In the DMs, slide on into our DMs. Let us know that story. We'll get out to all the folks that want to hear it. You know we do as well. Our raffle up at Gentleman's Way in Garner, Iowa, is still going on. Go up there, get yourself a haircut, enter your name into our raffle, and your next haircut could potentially be on 3 Gig.
Hey, Rio, have you been working out?
No.
You haven't? Mm. Oh, okay.
I have been working out. I've been using this app called Fitbod. If you're into working out, keeping track, editing workouts, all that good stuff, learning new lifts to do, download Fitbod. It's a great app. You can track all your workouts, stuff like that. Use our code 3GIG for 25% off membership.
Yeah. Huge percent off.
Hell yeah. Did you know that the rec center is going to be 24 hours here shortly?
That's amazing. No, I didn't know that.
It'll be amazing. So, yeah, real cool. So,
boom. I love it. Definitely check out Fitbod. Get your tickets for the North Iowa fights here on May 21st. And that about wraps her up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.
Discussions, I've been writing, I love it.